Hello, I am the Tabletop Optimist, and I want to talk about one of my favorite mechanics in the Cosmere ttrpg. A mechanic that is an excellent representation of narrative style gameplay with some teamwork sprinkled in, and that is the plot die. The plot die in the Cosmere ttrpg is a d6 with non-numerical results. Well, most of the time. Most sites don't have any numbers on them. When the GM says, I want you to raise the stakes, that is when you are going to be using the plot die. Before I continue, if you are looking to learn more about the Cosmere TTRPG or the forthcoming Plot Weaver TTRPG made by the same company, make sure to hit that subscribe button so that way you won't miss out on any of my future uploads. I'm so excited to talk about both of these games. Now, back to the plot die. Like I said before, the plot die is a d6 with 4 different options. You have the opportunity, you have the blank side, and you have the complication side. The reason why I say there are 4 different sides, even though I just listed off 3, complication has 2 different results depending on what you roll. More on that later. Let's start off with most players' preferred option, and that is the opportunity. When you roll an opportunity, you choose one of the 4 options. You can aid an ally, which means you can give advantage to an ally on their next check. This is one of my favorites because it really adds a level of teamwork to the game, and helping your teammates becomes mechanically beneficial. You can collect yourself, which means you can regain 1 focus. And as a warrior with Swift Strike, I desperately need all the focus I can get. You can critically hit. What critically hit means in Cosmere is that whatever your damage die you roll the maximum. So if you critically hit on a d8, you roll an 8. D10 is 10, and so on. But no, this is only when you are rolling for an attack. You cannot store this for a future attack. And my very favorite one is Influence the Narrative, which on its own really showcases how the story is not just the GM's to tell, but everyone else at the table. What this means is that your action results in a positive plot twist. Like, let's say you are getting chased, and during one of your chase rolls, you roll an opportunity. You can say, I want something to obstruct their path, giving you the chance to put a lot more distance between you and your pursuer. Rolling with opportunity can really change the outcome of any situation and really change how the game is going. If you're in a combat and you see your fellow players are really struggling, if you roll with an opportunity, you can change the outcome of that entire combat by giving yourself a critical hit. Influencing the narrative to have someone or something come in to help save you, or at least get you out of immediate danger. The next one I want to talk about is the blank sides of the plot die. Not really much to dive into with this, as is just nothing changes. No modifiers to increase the roll, no opportunity or complication. Sometimes this could be the best result if you don't have an idea of what you want to do with the opportunity, or you don't want to add a complication to your current scene. Speaking of, up next is complication. Just like everything else, complications have 2 sides of the plot die. And sometimes it's my favorite result because I love a little bit of chaos thrown into this game. And complications are a great way for your GM to add chaos. Most of the time, of course. Sometimes I just want to keep the story going or have something happen that makes my game better. When you roll a complication, that means what's up happens next is up to the GM, but that doesn't mean you don't get anything positive from rolling a complication. On the complication side, there is a 2 and a 4. Those are added modifiers to your roll. So even though you rolled a complication, that 2 and 4 could set you over what is required for you to succeed. Now, if you are a GM and your player rolled a complication, this is what you get. You can hinder an ally. What this means is that you impose a disadvantage on one of your PC's next rolls. This is similar to advantage, but the opposite. When they roll a die, you can make them roll a die of the similar test, but they have to take the lower result. So no matter what die they are rolling, it will be at disadvantage based on your choice. Another option is become distracted, which, as a person with ADHD, becoming distracted will always happen, but mechanically, this means you can take a focus away from a player. And like I said before, as a warrior with Swift Strike, this will be detrimental to my character. The final option is influence the narrative. Similar to the players, but now the result is a negative consequence for the players. And if you roll an opportunity or a complication and you're having trouble figuring out what you want to get, Brotherwise also has a thing called the plot deck, which is a deck of cards that have opportunities or complications that you can draw from and take that. A lot of it is narrative focused, or you get some type of benefit. Make sure to check out the plot deck if you are interested. It is a very fun thing to add to the game, and it takes away some of the responsibility of the players and the GMs. And if you've seen any of my videos before, you know I love it when the game gives you something to make your job easier. The plot die is an amazing feature in this game, and if you are like me and like a little bit of chaos thrown into your game, even as a player, rolling a complication is just as much fun and rewarding as rolling with an opportunity. If you've played the Cosmere TTRPG, let me know what is a moment where you rolled with an opportunity or complication that is memorable, that has completely changed the outcome of the game, or something minimal that didn't really change much, but it meant a lot to you. And if you haven't played the Cosmere TTRPG, let me know what kind of more information you would like to see to kind of answer your questions about this game. Thank you for watching. Keep that glass half full and have a great next game. Bye.